Hello everybody, Some Kind of Cyborg here. With Back 4 Blood having recently released and coming straight over to Game Pass, I thought it'd be a great time to make a video breaking down the card, deck, and supply line systems. For those that are new to the game, or maybe folks who have been on the fence about giving it a go. The card system is one of Back 4 Blood's most definitive features within the zombie shooter genre. With it, the developers have circumvented the need for rigid, specific classes and roles, and instead they've afforded players much more freedom and flexibility in how they approach the game. Some builds can cater more towards general solo play, like increased revive speed, better heal effectiveness, and even an AoE heal, which applies to all teammates when the player goes down, which never happens with randoms. Whilst other decks can flourish in a coordinated team effort with friends, where you have the option of discussing exactly the kind of deck you're building beforehand. There are even options for full meme super speed beat everything on screen with a bat build. The question is, how do you want to play? Do you prefer a team utility role? You can do that. Do you want to be a slow moving, unkillable juggernaut? Go for it. Prefer to go with the Call of Duty shooter man style? Oh, you best believe Back 4 Blood caters for that. The card system doesn't just end with players though. You know those Ridden, those zombies, those creatures that outnumber us about 1,000,000 to 1? Yeah, well, they're controlled by an enigmatic force known as the Director, and they have a deck of their own, filled with instant classics such as The Birds, ferocious subtypes, and MTG staple, Fog. These are known as corruption cards. They aren't all bad though. During each mission, we will be allocated a mission card. These vary in objective, but they always infer some type of boon to the player, whether that be copper, that's the currency we use to spend on our characters' loadouts within missions, or supply points, our meta progression and unlock currency. Sometimes both. As you progress through the game, complete bonus objectives, and take on harder difficulties, and successfully complete missions, your character will accrue supply points. These supply points are your bread and butter, insofar as they are the key resource to meta progression. With these you can purchase cards for your decks, cosmetics for characters and weapons, as well as a couple of other bits and pieces to personalise your game experience with. You will receive fewer supply points on Recruit difficulty, the standard amount on Veteran, and an increased amount on Nightmare, the difficulty scaling accordingly. Cards, cosmetics, and personalization items are all acquired via supply lines. You can access supply lines either through the menu or talking to this NPC. When you first start the game, there will only be a single 3-node track available. Upon completion of that initial track, however, you will be faced with 3 tracks of greater length, with each one catering to a general playstyle or theme. This is where you will acquire new cards to slot into your decks. At the end of most tracks, a banner personalization, character outfit piece, or weapon cosmetic will be unlocked. Unlocked cosmetics can be equipped in the Cleaners tab for characters, and the Armory tab for weapons. On the deck screen, you will be faced with 3 different deck types: Solo, Campaign, and Swarm. Solo is for players who like to go it alone, and Swarm is the Back 4 Blood PvP mode. Both of these decks will start with every card unlocked by default and can be a great way of testing out specific styles of build. Campaign is where the real meat of the game lies, and it's here that you will find all the cards currently unlocked via supply lines. On the left side are your currently created decks, and you'll be able to choose from any of these when you first load into a mission. It's through these decks that you are able to differentiate yourself as a player, and bring something unique to the team. No doubt as the game progresses a meta will develop, but I encourage you to experiment and play around, have fun with the system, and create a deck that really is your own. For example, I'm currently running 2 main decks, a tanky damage resistance build with an emphasis on revival and team heals, and a slightly more selfish bottomless mags weakness exploit build. Each deck can slot 15 cards. These are broken down into 4 types: Reflex blue, Brawn green, Discipline red, and Fortune yellow. They are further broken down into subtypes: offense, defense, mobility, and utility. Fairly self-explanatory. You can search for specific cards or types of card with the search and filter functions on the deck screen. The top card is known as a starter card and will always be drawn and played at the start of a campaign. Following that, a handful of other cards will be drawn from your deck at the beginning of a mission. This draw isn't random, and you will in fact draw in the order that you have placed the cards. Forward planning here is crucial. If you have a general idea of what you'll be coming up against in the acts, you can plan your deck ahead of time according to the most relevant threats and challenges you have to overcome. If you join a match in progress, don't worry. You will be able to draw and use cards up to the amount of missions already completed in that act. If you die and still have continuing a mission, you will even be able to slot an additional card to try again with. When deciding which card to play, it can be good to consider which corruption cards the director currently has in play. If you're going to be facing tougher standard ridden, for example, it might be worth slotting in an increased weak point damage card so headshots will still down them in a single bullet. If you're facing tougher stalkers, maybe take a card that's going to increase the amount of stun guns you can carry so you can free yourself easier. The possibilities within the system are manifold, and I personally can't wait to grab some more unlocks and really begin diversifying my deck archetypes. That's all for now, folks. If you found this video at all helpful or useful, please do consider leaving a like. If you have any criticisms, please feel free to leave a comment. Until the next one, take care, folks, and remember.
Attackers can be stopped by removing the head or destroying the brain.